All right, well, we'll try it again then. We'll try it again. What up, White and Nerdy? What up? What's going on, y'all? Pop up in the comments and say hi. Say hello. What up, F. Dot? Durango. Miss Michelle, good morning. Hello. Hello. What's up, Mark? Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back. Mortal Coil. That's an awesome name. Good morning. Good morning, y'all. It is hot as fuck outside. It's supposed to be over 100 degrees this Monday. Man. All right, we're doing it again. Back with a tried and true background. Back with the tried and true background. Jesus loves you. Okay. It feels like a 10 for 1-8 today. Good God. Nobody go to Florida. Holy shit. Y'all gotta get out of Florida. That's far too hot. Far too hot. Goodness gracious. Headed down tonight. Good Lord. Get incinerated down yonder. Good Lord. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate that. Thanks for looking out. I appreciate it. Thank you all for the engagements and stuff. All right. Let's see. Hey, Peter, are you there?
Yeah, hello.
Hey, what's up, man? Are you one of the Christians?
Yeah.
Cool, man. So please, for the love of all things sacred, prove my prompt wrong.
Where do you or why do you think Christianity glorifies and condones slavery?
Because it's in the Bible.
Where exactly?
A bunch of places.
Okay, so I think we set this straight out first. So for historical context, and Judah, Judea, all those places back 4,000, 3,000 years ago, the term slavery was used more for like how do I say this? It was like a maid, but it was just a bit more strict. It was servants to pay off debt, or in cases of war, God said instead of killing them, you can take them in and have them work for you. And after
No, no,
7
no. He
years,
said you can do that with women and children. You have to kill all the males
where did it say
when it
that?
comes to war. Deuteronomy 20.
Deuteronomy.
It says you have to put all the males to the sword, but you can take the women and the children as slaves, and you can force them to marry you and rape them and stuff.
Rape. You saying God does something to rape? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read up on Deuteronomy about that. But
Here, I'll read it to you real quick. It says, when you draw near. Oh, wait, let me just get to it.
No,
It says, if it
I'm
does
gonna
not submit to you peacefully, but makes war against you, then you shall besiege it. When the Lord your God gives it into your hand, you shall put all its males to the sword. You may, however, take as your plunder the women, the children, the livestock, and everything else in the town, all its spoil that the Lord your God has given you.
Wait. So can you read the first sentence again about them rebelling against you? Or
No. This says, if it does not submit to you peacefully, but makes war against you, then you shall besiege it.
okay.
Yeah, you're supposed to offer them terms of peace, and if they accept, then the entire town or nation gets to be your slaves. And if they refuse, you have to kill all the males, but you can take the women and children as slaves.
No, it said if they wage war against you, right?
No, this is when you're waging war against them.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
like in verse 10, it says, when you draw near a town to fight against it, offer it terms of peace. So this is when they're attacking other people.
Yeah, I think war was just common back then. I don't think war is good, but I think war is inevitable, and God is not. well, God does command certain things of word because He's just and He can really do what He wants in His just manner.
What's just about putting all the males to the sword and taking women and children as slaves?
Oh, if people are sinning and fornicating against God, God doesn't have to show them mercy if He doesn't want to.
He's not showing a mercy. He's saying kill the males and then
Yeah,
take the
yeah.
women
I'm
and children
saying
as slaves.
he doesn't have to show because. Well, think about
Well,
this.
he's not. He's
No,
making slaves of women and children, and he's ordering the males be killed.
If
That's
God's
not
mercy,
merciful or
if
just.
God's mercy was endless, then there'd be no justice, right?
How is this justice? This is forbidden in the world today. We have a Geneva Convention that says this stuff is inhumane, and the whole world agreed not to do it to each other. So why is it just when God says you can do it?
Because what God commands, He will follow.
So if God commanded you to put all the males to the sword and take the women and children as captives, you would do that?
That's again 3,000 years ago. Things were different. The age of conquering has been over for like 400 years.
Well, it's not over. It's still going today. That's why I started this channel, because Christians think they have a right to conquer people even today.
Who? Where?
Are you current on world events right now?
Yeah. What Christian nation?
You heard Trump running his fucking mouth talking about taking Greenland for America, conquering Canada, conquering Cuba,
using
attacking Iran.
Using Trump's a Christian?
Yeah, Christians elected Trump.
Okay.
They elected him because God saved him during that assassination to fix America.
The conservative Baptists and Roman Catholics. No, just because he takes out the name of Christianity. All right. So just because Stalin took up the name of communism, does that mean that his nation was truly communist?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly not, because he was a leader, and communism doesn't have a sole leader and authority. So just because you embrace
Christians elected Trump, that's still can't get around that.
And not all Christians are smart. Christians are at fault in nature.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, I know. Now there's some really oh my goodness, the Baptists and the Southern Baptists, like there's.
So I mean, if Trump decided to conquer people and put all the males to the sword and take women and children as slaves, what would be wrong with that in the eyes of God?
Well, because God didn't command it.
He did command it. That's why I just read it to you.
No. I'm saying God didn't command Trump to do that.
I'm saying if Trump did do that, why would that be wrong for God when God permits everything he's doing?
What do you mean he permits everything? No. Just because God commanded it once doesn't mean it's timeless and allowed to happen.
This is literally timeless. You're talking about a God that never changes, and God explicitly told them to do this all the days that you occupy this earth. So it was forever.
Okay, so why doesn't he command it like after the book of Samuel or anywhere in the New Testament?
He does.
No, he doesn't. What are you talking about?
Yes, it does. He kills people in the New Testament too.
The Holy Spirit does because people are lying to the church literally on day one of Pentecost, and like the first year of Pentecost, people are lying to the church. So again, he is justful and he's merciful, so he can choose when he is justice.
Okay, so what was merciful about these males that were put to the sword and the women and children that were taken as captives?
He's fully just and merciful too.
Okay, well explain. How is this just or mercy?
Because God commanded and they didn't listen.
That doesn't make it just or mercy. That's just a statement. What was justified in putting males to the sword and taking women and children as slaves?
I mean, you can call it circular reasoning, but God said it.
Well, that is circular reasoning. You're saying it's just because God said so. That's just scary, man.
Well, what do you consider something just or morally good or bad?
Do you not know what justice is?
No, I do. I do.
It doesn't sound like it. Can you tell us what justice is?
Yeah, justice is standing up for, or it's giving duty to what needs to be avenged or redeemed, or giving reason.
That makes no sense.
Okay.
Justice is vengeance?
No. I'm trying to think of a way to explain it. Justice
is getting what you deserve for something. That's an eye for an eye. It means you get what was due to you in the interest of fairness and equality, right? If you take a candy bar, you get punished for taking the candy bar. And it would also be not just if you stole the candy bar and like you and your entire family got sentenced to hard labor in prison. That wouldn't be justified because the punishment's way too steep for the crime. What do you mean, why not?
Well, since you believe in
you think you deserve to get sentenced to hard labor for life if you steal a candy bar?
No,
think that's
but
appropriate?
in your worldview,
Okay,
why is
well,
that?
that's not justice then, right?
Okay, and what's the definition of justice in your worldview?
I just told you.
But it's subjective though, right?
You're right. Christians are stupid.
No, but morals are subjective though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they are. Okay, so to what degree is something good or bad?
I don't know. If God says rape's good, does that make it good?
Well, God, that's not his nature.
Yeah, it is. He's doing it right here in this chapter that I read to you. That's why I'm saying, just saying God said it makes it justice or not is a ridiculous statement. And you're just horrifying the rest of humanity talking like this.
I'm not, but either way,
We should employ some actual standards of justice. It would be great if you actually knew what that is and employed it when you signed up for
Okay,
this
so where do you
religion,
think
but
these
you
systems get
obviously
the-
didn't.
so where do you think society gets its morals from, or justice, the justice system?
Like it's several places.
Like what?
History,
Yeah, like
societal
so-
pressure, norms.
okay. So you think like Roman Empire, like burning people at stakes for not praying to their gods, was just or moral?
That's what Christians did.
No, they didn't. What are you talking about?
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. It's like y'all compete with each other who could say the most hypocritical shit. Like, this is ridiculous, man.
The Spanish.
Have you ever heard of Giovanni Bruno?
I don't think so. No.
I can't hear you. You're gonna have to get closer to your microphone.
I have not heard of him.
Yeah, he was burned at the stake by the Catholic Church for mathematically suggesting that the Earth goes around the sun and not the other way around. They burned him to death for it.
Galileo? You mean?
No, I mean Giovanni Bruno.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you ever heard of Joan of Arc?
Yeah, I've heard of Joan of Arc.
What happened to her? How'd she die?
Her own men turned against her.
How'd she die?
She was burned at a stake because her own men turned against her. It wasn't anything about
She was
Catholic.
burned at the stake by the church.
Oh, how is it possible if she's considered a saint in the church?
The
How the
church are
church-
hypocrites, dude. Who do you think burned her?
Her own men, not the church. What are you talking about? Her own men.
She
burned
was
her.
tried by the
By
church
her own
in
men.
England. It was in England. It was not her own men.
In
She
England.
was French. Bro, I really don't think you're equipped for this conversation, man. Like, you're making Christianity look way worse than uninformed.
you just said the church burned Joan of Arc. That's crazy.
Yeah, they did. It was the church. The church tried her. The church convicted her. The Christians who had her captive raped her before they burned her.
Whoa.
We're talking about Christians and the church.
Yeah, they made her a saint shortly after. Sure, buddy. Sure, the church did all that.
About 30 years afterwards.
Oh yeah, because that's consistent. Yeah. Whatever you said.
Yeah, but she still got burned to death, didn't she?
Okay, so how is
She
that?
still got raped, didn't she?
So how is that Christian nations mass murdering people, like you said?
That's a different subject, isn't it?
No, I mean that was your claim, pretty much.
Well, your claim was that the Romans were the one burning people at the stake, and it wasn't them. It was Christians all through the medieval ages and all the way up until recently modern history. Y'all were still burning
you said
people.
2 people, and one of them was incorrect, and the Romans did thousands of people.
What? The Romans, they might have burned some people, but that wasn't their thing. That's a Christian thing. That's from the Bible.
No, that was their thing.
Romans
What are you talking about?
The Romans crucified people. That was the worst punishment they had. Stoning
Hey.
and burning alive is the worst in the Bible.
Okay, so
That's
you
a
think
Christian thing. Again, stop projecting your own faults onto other
it's
people.
not a Christian thing,
ridiculous.
dude? It's in the Colosseum,
is.
in the arena. It's a Christian thing. Okay, so
What
this guy
the-
said Spanish
What is the
Inquisition.
penalty
creates-
for a Levitic priest daughter if she profanes herself with prostitution? What does God say to do
That's
with them?
old Levitical law.
Okay, what does God say to do with them?
You tell me.
It says burn them alive.
Well, yeah, because that part's just.
Yeah, because it's in the Bible. No, that part's just.
No, because that's just.
Oh my God, what is wrong with y'all? Seriously. So you think it's justified to set a woman on fire because she committed prostitution?
Under old Levitical law, yeah, but not now.
Okay, well, what makes that justified under Levitic law?
Well, because people were much more barbaric, and now they're not. Simple as that.
Oh, are there prostitutes now?
Yeah, there still are.
Okay, so why would it not be justified now to set them on fire, but it was then?
Because we have the Holy Spirit with us now. Everyone can
The
anyone
Holy
can.
Spirit is the one they ordered be set on fire in the first place, man.
No, he didn't.
Okay, so who gave Levitic law to the Levites, Peter?
Well, actually, technically, well, God the Father.
It was God, wasn't it?
God the Father, yes.
Yeah, he's the one that came up with that law to set people on fire, wasn't he?
Yeah, this is just.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't tell if you're being serious or not, man. Are you just being a weird troll?
No.
You're not.
No.
Well, then you really need to evaluate what's going on in your mind here and your critical thinking skills, because this is utterly ridiculous, the words that have came out of your mouth so far.
Well, you said Christians killed lots of people, like Christian nations,
Yeah.
and you named 2 people.
Do you want me to name a bunch more?
I mean, I can name the same for the all the way around. Yeah,
Do you want me to name a bunch
let's
more?
go band
I'll
for
do
band.
it for you.
I'll go atheist.
You want me to
you
do
go
it for
Christian.
you? I don't
Let's do
mind.
it.
Okay. You ever heard of the Waldensians?
The what?
The Waldensians.
No.
Okay, well, they were a group of Christians that lived specifically by the Sermon on the Mount. And the Catholic Church was so appalled by this that they locked 6,000 of them in a cave and set it on fire
When was this?
for the awful crime of baptizing people as adults. It was in the 1300s or 1400s.
I'll go into this.
Yeah.
Well, also, I mean, I'm not Roman Catholic, but yeah, go on.
Well, it's the church.
All right, how about Stalin enslaving hundreds of thousands of Christians, Orthodox, and then
What about him? He was raised by Christians.
okay, and then he killed like tens
Christians
of thousands
raised
of
him, and
priests
that's
and
why
monks.
they raised a fucking psycho. That's why. Because
Oh,
they raised a
so
narcissist.
it's his fault for killing or enslaving a million Christians, and that's his parents' fault.
Enslaving a million Christians. Well,
Yeah.
they didn't raise him right. Yeah, if they would have raised him right, it might have turned out differently, huh?
How could they raise him Christian and then he goes and kills them?
I don't know. It's probably because Christians are fucking crazy. Just like all this nonsense coming out of your mouth.
But he's
They
an
probably raised their
atheist. Like, that's
kid.
the whole point.
They
He's an
probably
atheist.
raised Stalin the way you're talking right now, and it produced a psycho.
So because they raised him Christian, he turned atheist and killed him Christians.
Yeah, they probably told him things like, God was justified for setting women on fire and shit like that. So he grew up thinking that kind of stuff was okay, and then he did it when he got older.
Well, that's when somebody reads only Old Testament and not New Testament, and they realize that.
Oh, okay. Well, where does it say that God said don't do that in the New Testament?
Well, when Jesus came and
Jesus
cleared
says to
all
keep
things-
the commands of God.
Yes, yeah, the 10 Commandments.
John
yeah.
says if you don't keep the commands, you're a liar.
Yeah, the 10 Commandments and what Jesus commands.
No,
And he
there's
says
more
all
than
foods are
10.
clean. He says all
So
foods are
you
clean.
keep. So do you keep the 10 Commandments?
Yeah, I do.
You do. You remember the Sabbath and keep it holy.
Yeah,
You do.
yeah.
And how do you do that on Saturdays?
I try not to work on Saturday.
You don't work. That's you keeping the Sabbath holy.
I try not to work. Yeah.
So have you ever worked on a Saturday?
Well, but I mean, when I used to work, yeah,
Oh shit.
I used to be a busser.
Whoa. Oh shit. Well, you're going to hell. Sorry, man.
Okay, sure, buddy.
Well, according to John, you're a liar.
Yeah, and of course there is no redemption through that. Whatever you said.
Well, whatever John says. You calling John a liar?
No, I'm not actually. I love John.
Oh. Well, John says you're a liar.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he does.
So
He says
if I
anyone who
try
says
my
I've come to
hardest-
know God but does not keep the commands is a liar. You want me to put it on the screen where you can read it?
Yeah, I know that, but so you think
Oh, you
that,
know
if I
that.
okay,
Well,
so you think that
admitted
I
you
have to be
don't keep
perfect
the
to go to heaven?
commandments. You
So do you
admitted
think
you've
that-
broken the commandments.
How is me not trying to work on Saturday bad? That's okay. So if I
You need to take that up with your God. I don't think there's nothing wrong with somebody working on a Saturday, but your God kills people for picking up sticks on a Saturday, so he takes it pretty serious for some reason. But as
Yeah,
a
'cause
Christian,
it-
you signed
'cause it was
up
serious.
to keep those commands, but you don't do it. And according to John,
No,
you
I
are a
do try to
liar
do
and
it.
you are bound for hell. You are blind walking in the darkness.
so you think that I have to be absolutely perfect to be a Christian?
Yeah, that's what John
Okay,
says.
then no, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, really? I don't. Well,
I
let's
said-
go read it then.
I should strive to be perfect, but I'm not.
I'm sure
not
you
perfect.
should. Yeah, let's see
Okay,
what John
and
says about that.
First John 1:8.
Let's see. Let's just read it and see if John agrees with you. All right. Everyone who commits sin is guilty of lawlessness. Sin is lawlessness. You know that he was revealed to take away sins, and in him there is no sin. No one who abides in him sins. And no one who sins has either seen him or known him. Little children, let no one deceive you. Everyone who does right is righteous, just as he is righteous. And everyone who commits sin is a child of the devil, for the devil has been sinning from the beginning. For the Son of God was revealed for this purpose, to destroy the works of the devil. And those who have been born of God do not sin, because God's seed abides in them. So you're a sinner, right?
Yeah. Read First John 1:8.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker.
No, here,
Welcome to hell.
Read First John 1:8.
Oh, does 1 John 1:8 disqualify all the other stuff I just read right there?
No, but it should. Perspective.
So John just said you're not supposed to be a sinner if you know God.
I acknowledge I'm a sinner. No, the point is that you're not living in sin. Accepting sin is not
So
good.
you're not a sinner. You're perfect.
I am a rotten sinner, but I'm trying not to sin.
Shit. Well, according to John, you're a liar and you're going to hell.
Oh shoot, really? Oh wow.
Yeah, really. I just read it.
Funny.
No one who abides in him sins. That's pretty clear, isn't it?
It's funny how
little children, let no one who
verse
deceive you. Everyone who sins is of the devil.
It's funny how you can pick out
you're
one
of the
verse
devil,
and-
Peter. You're of the devil, Peter.
Oh yeah, sure. Yep. All right, so read 1 John 1:8.
So you're going to call John a liar again?
No, read 1 John 1:8 and I'll
What about 1 John 1:8?
Again, you can just read it.
There is no 1 John chapter 8.
Yes, there is. The first epistle.
No, there's not. It only goes to 5.
1 John chapter 1 verse 8.
There is no 1 John chapter 8. It does
No,
not exist.
1 John chapter 1 verse 8.
I don't even think you know what you're saying.
Do you
do you mean John 8? Is that what you're talking about?
No, the first epistle of John, chapter 1, verse 8. It's not the gospel, John. It's later in the Bible.
If we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us. If we confess our sins, the one who is faithful and forgives our sin, he will cleanse us from all unrighteousness.
Okay, so we're forgiven.
What do you think that's saying?
Well, so contrasting with what you showed is that we cannot be perfect, and we have to acknowledge we're sinners, and we can be forgiven.
You have no idea what's happening in John, do you?
I'm showing you that because I broke the Sabbath.
The point is that you are a sinner.
Yes, that's the point.
Okay, let me finish my sentence before you start agreeing with me, because I'm not agreeing with you. John is saying you are a sinner. You admit that sin and you repent, and then sin is removed from you at that point. Once you have become enlightened, you do not continue to sin, because now you know God. Now you are enlightened. Now you walk in lightness, and God's seed abides in you. So once you see God and you know God, you do not sin, because you have seen him, and now you know him.
That's saying you can sin.
Yes.
But it's saying you're going to sin. Oh, you will sin. He said if anyone says I'm not a sinner. So we're all sinners, but we can repent.
That's what you admit, and then you repent. And after that,
So
you are not a sinner. And you're discarding 5 chapters of John to go with one fucking line that you think backs you up.
You picked
ridiculous.
out one line. You picked out one line just like
I did not pick out one line. I read you several verses from chapter 3. Here, let me start over again. Everyone who commits sin is guilty of lawlessness. Sin is lawlessness. That's one verse. You know that he was revealed to take away sins, and in him there is no sin. No one who abides in him sins, and no one who sins has either seen him or known him. So we went through 3 verses now. Little children, let no one deceive you. Everyone who does what is right is righteous, just as he is righteous. And everyone who commits sin is of the fucking devil. I'm sorry you want to disregard 4 chapters of John after chapter 1. So you can pretend that you're doing it right, but don't call John a liar, man. Don't call John a liar now. You're the liar, not John. Don't call John a liar. That's ridiculous. Anyway, let's see what we got here. Who is next? Let's see, Miss Michael. Oh. Hey, Miss Michelle, you there? Miss Michelle? think Michelle's here on purpose. All right. Chappelle, you there? Chappelle Seals? Chappelle. I guess all these requests are accidents. All right. There's only one person there. What up, His?
Yo.
Hey, what's up, man? Go ahead and prove the prompt wrong. I already know you're a Christian, so.
What are you doing here, bro?
You gonna prove the prompt wrong?
You were a part of the church, right? I think.
Yeah.
So you're well versed in the scriptures, I'm assuming. So you know what the text says already, man.
Yeah. It says it glorifies and condones slavery and injustice.
Yeah, this kind of ties in with the New Testament too, and with the Old Testament. What's the main thing that a person should do?
Repent and turn from their wicked ways.
To love, right? Love your neighbor as yourself, right?
Yeah, well, that's just your neighbor.
So you realize Israel was a safety net for runaway slaves from outside nations, right?
No.
You don't realize that?
Uh-uh.
And the Hebrew slaves, right? How are they treated?
Horribly.
Right, the masters who mistreat their property, right? They don't know how to use their money wisely, correct?
I have no idea what you're talking about, man.
There's two specific verses that I know. If a slave is beaten and doesn't
The Bible says you
perish,
can beat the slave.
they can leave, right?
No.
And the master also has his life taken.
No, not right.
Yeah, it is right. That's why little
It's
demon
not
in you
right.
is convulsing.
Well, you don't know what the fuck
Legion.
you're talking about, dude. That's not
I
what it
do,
says.
and you fulfill
No,
the
you don't.
apostasy parable.
Apostasy parable.
You're literally proving Christ's words to be true in the parable of the sower, bro.
Christ is a liar, regardless of what I say. But
So if you're the
let's
apostate,
just
how is
read the-
Christ a
let-
liar?
yeah, here I'm going to show you. Well, you're a liar for sure. Anyway, when a slave owner strikes a male or female slave with a rod and the slave dies immediately, the owner shall be punished. But if the slave survives a day or two, there is no punishment, for the slave is the owner's property. I don't say nothing about them.
So give the full context, please.
That is the whole context. That's the whole verse.
No.
Okay, well, give it to us then.
I'm not answering things you already know.
I
I'm
know
playing
you're
your
not.
game.
I know
I'm
you're
playing
not.
your
You're a
game.
liar and you know it.
I'm not playing your
You're a
game.
liar and you know it. I know, you're a liar. You're not
You
willing
can
to
get
play a
other
game that you
lukewarm
already know
Christians
you're
to
going
play
to
the
lose,
game, but I ain't
even though
playing
you're
your
already
game.
fucking playing it. So you can drop
Your game
yourself
is
back
rage
whenever
bait.
you're ready. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and drop
Right.
yourself back whenever you're ready.
So whenever you grow
We'll
the
move on to-
cojones to preach the context, I'll be open ears.
Yeah, you don't know shit about context.
Burden's on you, man. You're the host.
Yeah, I read it to you.
Anybody with ChatGPT could look this up.
Chat GTPT. Are you there?
Hey, I got a question real quick.
Yeah, are you a Christian? E?
I believe in Jesus. I'm of faith. I believe in God. I wouldn't say I'm religious in that standing, but I would say I feel like what you're arguing does not matter. The only thing you're trying to do is just make people upset. You're just
Yeah,
trying to
I'm
get
trying to
people
make
to argue
people
without.
realize that.
You're
Hold on,
correct.
hold on, hold on. I feel like you're just trying to make people upset by bringing up an outdated topic that has nothing to do with our current day and age. I don't know where you are.
Oh,
We're in
it's
America.
definitely
There's
got
no
something to
slavery
do
in
with
America.
our current day. Yeah,
So
there
what's in our
is.
day and age
Christians are
regarding
trying to bring
slavery?
it
The
black
Bible,
right
the
now.
Bible was a collection of rules used to orchestrate for a group of people, used to
Yeah,
hold them in line.
Christians.
So when
Yeah,
people were
Christians.
doing slavery, people were going to war, when people were having premarital sex, doing all this shit, The Bible was there to stop that. Say, if you want to be my people, you have to stop. It's
The
saying
Bible
you
don't care
cannot be
about
like the other
premarital
people
sex.
that
It
are
cares if
sinners.
women
Hold
lose
on,
their
hold on, hold on, hold
virginity
on.
before they're
It's like
married.
if you
You
are the
hold
other
on.
people
You're
that are
not addressing
sinners,
the
you.
point here. Hello.
So my point is that your argument makes no sense.
It does
Your
make
argument has
sense. The
nothing to do with
Bible is
anything that matters.
100% about slavery, and
The Bible
you
is
can.
not 100% about slavery, but read the
Yes,
book.
it is. It says you can. I have read it, and it says you can own slaves, you can beat slaves, you can sell your daughter as a slave, you can
You
take
can
women and
be a
children
slave.
as.
You can do
Dude,
all that if you're going to be.
yeah. It says you can do all that. Jesus says you can do all that. It says you are a slave to God as you have submitted your will to do God's will, which makes you a slave. So Christianity is 100% about being a slave, and it says you can own slaves. So it's 100% about slavery. Now you can unmute yourself and say whatever nonsense you want to say. I don't know if Ed probably don't know how to unmute himself.
I'm just confused. Like, what's the point of your argument here?
The point of the argument is that Christianity is about slavery.
Entirely? That's the whole
Yeah,
purpose.
100%. That's what
Can you
100% means.
can you give me more evidence? Maybe I'm not seeing your
Yeah.
argument in the right light. Can you give me
Yeah,
like a
God
better point?
says you can own slaves, you can beat slaves, you can sell your daughter as a sex slave in the Bible. Jesus talks about slaves. He says to beat slaves. He says you are a worthless slave to God. Paul says you are enslaved to
Can you
God.
find that
So
verse
this
where
is
he says I'm
all
worth a
about
slave to
slavery.
God? Can you find
Huh?
the verse where he says I'm worth a slave and read the context before and after?
Yep.
That's a new one. I haven't heard that one.
You ain't gonna like it then.
People try to argue this all the time. I'm just confused. I feel like people don't understand the point of the Bible. The Bible is not for
Y'all are
everybody. The
confused.
Bible was
Y'all
for a
are
people group. The
Yeah,
Bible
and I'll
is for
tell
a
you
people
why.
group
I
living in a
know.
larger
Okay,
area of
stop
other
talking,
people.
and I'll tell you why you're confused. You're confused because the Bible says a bunch of nonsense that you don't like, and you think, well, since I signed up for the club, I have to make it good somehow. That's what's confusing to you.
What do you mean
Is
signed up
that
for
you
the
know this
club?
is
I'm
actually
choosing to
wrong,
be a
but you're
Christian.
still.
I'm choosing to read the
I
Bible. I'm
know,
choosing.
and you don't actually even like Christianity. It's
I
about
don't
slavery.
like the
You don't even
Christianity that
like. You
your
don't
people
like slavery, do
change.
you? You don't like slavery, do you?
Who said anything about me liking slavery? The Bible was an
I'm
organization
asking
of
you the
texts
question
meant
if
to
you
help
like
you understand how
slavery.
to go through life and achieve a certain
Okay,
goal.
well, Jesus says to
Going
go
through
through
life,
life
doing
as a
whatever you want,
worthless
having an
fucking
unlimited amount of
slave.
slaves,
As a
beating your slaves,
worthless
killing them,
slave.
stealing other people's slaves, stealing other people's
I know
property.
you don't
It
like it,
tells
so
you
you
a
probably
clear
should
set of
leave this
rules on
awful
how you're supposed to
religion.
live daily life with other people.
You can. Are you done crashing out now?
I'm not crashing out. My tone is
You're
very
crashing
calm.
out. I can't get a fucking word in on my own live. Do you want to have
Well,
an actual
I
conversation?
pray that you find
Because
Jesus,
I've
sir.
got
Have a good
I've
day.
got the scripture ready to read you right here, but I haven't
I'm
been able
good,
to get a
sir.
word in to read it to you. Oh shit! Oh shit!
Run.
That's what Christians do. They stick them fingers in that ears and run for the fucking hills. That's what they fucking do. Actually, they run to the voters' box to vote Christians into law to make people do their bullshit. It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, let's move on here. Yep. Hey, you know what we heard there, Mr. Christian? That's what we heard. Congratulations. Hey, Project, you there?
Hey, how's it going? How you doing today?
Doing good, man. Thanks for asking. Are you one of the Christians?
I am a Christian, actually.
Cool. Well, please,
I would say,
all things sacred, prove this prompt wrong.
okay, well, firstly, to prove your prompt wrong, I have to ask you, have you ever actually done the research within the Bible?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
with
I
you,
looked into it. It says you can own slaves.
it says you can own slaves.
Says you can own slaves. Says you can beat slaves. Says you can sell your daughter as a slave. Says you can take women and children as slaves after a war. All kind of stuff.
Okay. So, have you ever thought that God is allowing suffering for a reason?
Is slavery suffering?
It is.
Well, then why do you allow people to suffer through law willingly forever?
Just like he allows people to die today and get cancer and get diseases, and just like a lot of people are saying, oh, well, God allowed this, God allowed that. Yeah, God allowed slavery, but that doesn't mean that he made people do it. Why are we?
So it says if you want to do it, go ahead and do it. It's okay.
You know what?
Sounds like you're making a case why this God is awful.
I mean, we can, whatever you want to say, bro. I'm just trying to get you to answer some
Saying it's
questions.
about slavery.
Well, I know it's not about slavery because there's 66 different books written by 40 different authors, and you're talking about one specific section in the book. So if you want to say 100%,
No. I'm talking about the whole book, 100%.
No, I
That's what
get
I'm
what
talking
you're
about.
saying, but I'm telling you, I know it's not about slavery because I've read it.
Yeah, so have I. And it says you're a slave. It says you can own slaves. It says you're a worthless slave to God. That's Jesus' own words.
I mean, you can
So
take bad things of anything. I could say anything about anything and make it seem horrible, can't I?
really,
Yeah, I mean,
read something like this from Dr. Seuss. Make
Dr.
Dr.
Seuss.
Seuss a bad book.
I mean, I can. He would. Have you never
You
seen those
can do it.
videos where they literally showed how Dr. Seuss and Cat in the Hat and all that could be demonic and all that stuff? Like, come on, we can
I'm
make
sure a
anything
bunch of
bad.
Christians are so twisted they think the cat in the hat is a demon, but it never
I
says
don't.
anything like that in the book. It says be friendly to the star-bellied sneeches. There's nothing that you
Do
can
you
say in
think
there.
that
It says this
everybody?
actually means own slaves and beat them.
Do you think that everybody is a Christian?
No, I'm not one.
So does
I don't.
everybody
I don't
that's
join pro-slavery
demonic
religions.
Christians? I'm just wondering because
What?
as soon as I said that something was demonic, you automatically assumed it was a Christian. So I was just wondering.
Well, who else thinks the cat in the hat is demonic except for Christians?
I mean, spirituality, people that do witchcraft, Muslims who
Okay,
have
well,
different
show me,
religions.
name a single person who's into witchcraft that thinks the cat in the hat's a demon.
I mean, that's a specific topic that we randomly brought up. Of course, I don't know anybody specifically who knows Cat in the Hat is demonic. That doesn't make any sense. That was a
Well,
random
then you
thought.
probably shouldn't say that spiritual people think the cat in the hat is demonic because so far the only thing we know for sure is that Christians are the one who said that.
So, of course, we're going to be able to say that because you brought up a specific topic that I didn't even really want to talk about.
Well, that's fine. We don't have to. Well, you brought up the.
No, you brought up Cat in the Hat, and I said
I
that
know because you
people that
said you
are
can make
Christians
something
see
bad out of
others as
everything. So
demonic.
I used that as an
Yeah.
example. It was a counter example.
Okay, can I ask you a question since you've been asking me questions?
Yeah.
Okay, so with that being said, do you ever think that suffering can amount to good?
Maybe. You could probably rationalize it to something good.
Before I was a Christian, which I don't really call myself a Christian, I call myself a person that actually reads the Bible in context with research. Um, if you go into the Bible and you actually read about it, where grandma at?
Her class.
Okay. Um, yeah, if you go into the Bible and you actually read about it, you could see that it's in context saying that at the time, a person that is a slave should be okay, well, not be okay with it, but should respect their master so that in the end, they're not doing the same evil to other people.
Yeah, the Bible tells slaves to obey their masters with fear and trembling, even the cruel
If I
ones. And it
follow,
says that over and over and over again.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I was talking about somebody in here. Midnight Crip says if you follow Christ, you're a Christian. No, Christian is a word that we made as human. Jesus Christ never said Christian in the Bible.
Yeah, but that's what a Christian is by definition. It's someone who
By
follows
definition
Christ.
of a
It means you're
word that
Christ-like.
humans made.
Christians made up the name Jesus and Yeshua too. What's your point?
I don't actually. Jesus made up his own name. We didn't make up his name. His name was translated from Hebrew, which was not
Jesus didn't make up his own name. He was told that they would be named that by the angel in Luke. It says this is what you will name him.
Hebrew. And who sent that angel?
You think he sent himself to name himself?
No, it ain't. What was the angel? It was
Just an angel.
it was Gabriel. Gabriel is a different entity than God. God sent that angel, Gabriel, which is obviously, like you said, God
Which is
sent
Jesus?
to somebody to tell somebody what the name of the person would be, which was Jesus.
Really?
I mean, yeah. You don't believe that God sent an angel to that person to tell Mary or not
I
Mary?
don't.
What? You don't? Okay.
No, I don't. And
Well,
I know that's a made up story because there is no prophecy in the Hebrew Bible about a virgin birth of a Messiah. It doesn't exist. It doesn't
all
even
right.
suggest that. So I know that the New Testament, both Matthew and Luke, are making up that story.
Okay. So can I ask a question? What would give you sufficient advice, or what would give you sufficient evidence that Christianity, one, doesn't glorify and condone slavery, but also is actual love and peace of the world?
Simple. Show me where the Bible says you can own slaves, and Jesus says, "I did not come to bring peace to the earth. I came to bring a sword." So you would have to show me the opposite of the things that it says.
Show me the scripture where God said he did not bring love, he came to bring a sword.
Yeah, I got you.
Because it seems like you're reading everything.
What? Really? Well, you can tell me in just a second. All right. Do not think I have come to bring peace to the earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and one foes will be the members of one's own household. Whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me, and whoever does not take up the cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Those who find their life will lose it, and those who lose their life for my sake will find it. So that's Jesus saying he came to set men against
What
women,
scripture and
and
book
you
is
have to
that?
love him more than anybody, and you have to go and die for him. That's how I know
I
this is
hear
a
you.
cult.
I believe that last part, but what book and scripture is that?
That is Matthew chapter 10, verse 34 through 39.
So can you tell me the context of that book and story?
Yeah,
If
how is
possible.
I don't know how that context isn't clear on face value, but the context is Jesus is telling them, I didn't come to bring peace. This is going to be a
No, I
devastating
understand
thing.
the sentence, the context. Context is what's
That's
surrounding
the
it.
context. This religion, by its very nature, what you choose is going to divide
Where,
people, is
what,
what
and
Jesus
where?
is saying, and is going to bring a sword to them. He's telling them to go die for him. He's saying,
Have
if
you
you don't
ever?
love if you don't love me more than your own father and your own children, then you can't serve me because you have to love me more than anybody. Now go die, is what he said.
So that's understandable. But do you know what context actually means? Can you give me the definition of context?
Nope. I think it's pretty clear what we're talking about in context. It means it's saying what the body is suggesting it's saying.
Okay, so if I said, let's just do a hypothetical situation. If I'm in my room and one of my family members passes by my room and I say, I'm gonna fucking kill you, bro. Do you know what context that I'm saying that in?
No, tell me.
Okay, well, that's why context clues are a thing. I'm in my room.
Okay, well, what context did I get wrong about this?
Well, you recited the sentence. You didn't tell me the context. Context includes what,
I
where,
did tell you the
why.
context. The context is that he came to divide people. That's what this is talking about. It's talking about sowing division and not putting Jesus above everything else. That's because he's a
Who was he
fucking
talking to?
narcissist who wants you to go die for him.
Who was he talking to?
The disciples.
Okay, and why was he
If you
saying?
want to make that argument, then none of this is for you. Jesus isn't talking to you. None of this book is for you. None of it.
I mean, you can say that. Just
I
because
know
you're
I can say that.
just
I wish
because
the world would realize that, and then I would have better things to do with my day than argue with Christians up here.
I mean, honestly, I don't think you're doing this in good faith, but it doesn't
I have
matter.
a very specific goal here, so I'm doing it in good faith.
Whatever.
I mean, I'm not cutting you off. I'm not muting you. You're getting to say stuff like, what's
No,
bad faith? I mean, we're reading it right now.
because there are certain things that I'm trying to like. A conversation or even a debate is when somebody listens and then they understand what I'm asking. So I asked you, what does the definition of context mean? Because when I
And
asked
I
you
told you
context,
twice now.
you told me no. You told me you weren't going to give me it.
No, that's when you said define the word context. I
Yeah.
said, no, we both know what it means. And then I went on to give you the actual context.
Okay, and then that's why I'm saying that you probably don't know what you're saying because you didn't give me any.
Okay, so tell me what was wrong and what I said
You,
then. That's where we're at in this conversation. So
okay,
tell me
where
what
you
I got
were
wrong.
wrong. in that sentence and where you didn't get any context from is that the Lord is telling someone that if they're a slave in that day and age, to obey their slaves because the responsibility and authority that they are given, they're not able to really do anything at that time. So the only thing they can do is, like, if someone's treating you wrong, you can treat them wrong all you want, but you can only make your character how you want it to be. You can only treat that person how you want them to be treated. So if you're going to continue to do evil, it's just going to continue to do evil. But as a slave, if I respect and use and respect my authority, then I'm not being evil just like them. You can't just keep doing evil and expect good to come out of it.
Okay, where does the Bible say beating a slave is evil? Where does the Bible say that beating a slave is evil? Because I can show you where it says it's loving.
Oh, please show me.
And you can do it.
Please show me. And tell me what book in scripture.
Okay, so once I show you this, and you actually read this for yourself, are you going to admit you're wrong and this is disgusting?
Well, I'm going to do research and I'm going to look for content.
So what's the point? Well, what's the point in going reading it right now? You can go research it and then come back.
No, for sure. But can I ask you a question before I leave?
Yeah.
If I read something and I don't know what context it is, can I just automatically assume the context and make it true?
No.
Like I said, I'm going to fucking kill somebody in my room, but you don't know if I'm talking about a video game. You don't know if I'm talking about real life. You don't know if
Yeah, and I wouldn't suggest I
you
would.
don't have context. So
And I wouldn't suggest I did, but I do have
You're
context with the
suggesting you
Bible.
have
It's not the
context
same
too.
thing. It's not the same.
You just re-explaining a situation is not context.
I told you what I thought he meant by that. That's the context, is what it actually meant by the words, right?
No, context is why.
Okay, so you need to go figure out what context is then.
Okay.
You also need to read your book because you
sure.
clearly don't know the context if you think
Sure.
it suggests that beating a slave is a sin.
Okay. How about we go to the definition of context so we can see what we're talking about? Because I don't remember context.
I don't need to have this argument. You're the one that needs to go look up context, not
I
me.
know what context means. You're not providing
Context is
context.
going with what the words on the page are trying to convey to you. That's what context is. All right.
Am I making?
On the way out. Oh, dust off. You there? Dust off.
And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand when everything's meant to be broken.
I just want you to know
who I am.
that Jesus sucks. Anyway, it's blocked. All right, let's keep it moving. Oh, they're wild out here. Hey, Sal, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, what's up, man? Are you a Christian?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, are you a Christian?
Yeah, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I could hear you before.
Okay.
Are you a Christian?
Am I a Christian? Yes.
Cool, cool. So what you want to talk about on the topic here? Hopefully you'll prove it wrong.
So I'd like to say that the prompt isn't one. It isn't 100%. I mean, Christianity doesn't glorify or condone slavery. And to preface this, I would say that would you accept, or would you accept that what it means to be free? What it means
Not from a Christian.
not be enslaved. No, I'm saying, if you understood what it means to be free or to not be enslaved, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that you are free or any other man is free?
Yeah, I'm free.
Okay, so you see that in itself is an illusion, because what happens is that you think that you are free, and you try to exercise your own will. Here's the
Yeah.
problem. Here's the problem. There's a few problems with it. Number one, no man is truly free because there's governments that basically rule over us to tell us when and what to do.
So are
So
you just like downplaying slavery and what
no,
slavery
no,
is
no, no,
by
no,
saying
no.
everybody's some sort of slave somehow?
Yes, that's exactly my position. Everyone
Oh,
is
well,
some
that's
sort of
that's
slave.
just weak, man, and you need to stop it.
No, no,
That's
no.
not
It's
right.
not weak. It's not weak if you stop me and
It
think
is
about it.
weak. I'm
It's
talking
no.
about slavery, actual slavery. I'm not talking about metaphorical. If you live under a government, you're a slave. That's
Well,
ridiculous,
it's not
man.
just. It's not just. That's what I'm saying. Though it's not just government. What I'm talking about is that it's governments. It's also you're either a slave to Satan or you're a slave to God. There's no
Well,
middle
that's what
ground.
Christianity
Yeah,
tries to convince you of. Is you're a
The-
slave no matter what. So you might as well be a good slave. That's
no, no,
the
no.
right.
brainwashing you have to do to be a
Sal, let me,
Christian.
yeah, Sal, let me tell you why this is sort of a piece of shit argument, right? In every sense of that description. Because you and I, if we jumped in a DeLorean, hit 88 miles an hour and went back to 1850, and we went out on on a plantation, and we went up to slaves that were out working in the field, and we said, "You're not really slaves any more than your master is, right? Everybody's a slave." You realize what a piece of shit that would make you.
So okay, I understand your position, what you're saying, but you see, what's going on is that we're not really looking at the whole picture. The analogy that you just gave actually proves my point. Here's why: the fact that a human being, right, would enslave another human being isn't proving that. I mean, it's showing that it's showing that you are so evil and so wicked that you allow yourself to basically hold another human being as a slave, right? And that basically says exactly what I'm saying. That human beings are by nature, slavery entered once sin entered man's experience. Man was free prior to sin. As a result of it, men became enslaved. Now you are either Satan's slave or you are God's slave.
Yeah,
The
Sal. So
the, the,
let
the,
me
the
tell
the
you.
only
Let me
thing
tell
is the only
you.
thing.
No,
Let me
no, no,
can I
no,
finish this
no,
point?
no,
Go
no,
ahead. Go ahead.
no. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a question because I like semantics. Semantics isn't going to get you out of this, right? So I want you to use your terms. I want Sal Har's terms here. What are we going to call a person that is owned as property, passed on as inheritance, made to serve for life? And what are we going to call the person that owns those rights to that person? What are the two terms that you want to use?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So that's slave and slave master.
Okay. So you're saying that in that, with those two descriptions, you're comfortable saying that one is a slave
Hmm.
and one is not.
Based on your analogy, yeah.
Perfect. That's what we're talking about here.
Okay. So now let me ask you the question then. So would you say then that we all Christianity is about slavery and injustice, right?
Mhm.
Now that position isn't necessarily a bad position to take, right? And here's why. If if human beings were slaves, um, if human beings were slaves, God Himself came down and died for slaves. Wouldn't that be correct?
Or
Yeah, or nay? Did God Himself come down and die for slaves?
No.
Well, I mean, I'm willing to grant it
Yeah.
because I
Okay.
suspect I know what you mean.
So then basically, in essence, then God Himself isn't aloof. He isn't basically apart from us. He is right in it with us because He came and He died. He took on the form of a man and basically died in our place, as the Bible teaches. And so He has died for slaves. He has become
So
a slave. He has
now it's just. So now it's just that He owns people.
no. In fact, the reality of it is that He Himself said that He calls Jesus Christ calls his followers. He calls them friends.
He also calls them worthless slaves.
No. He says if you what happens there is you're taking it out that text out of context, and what it's actually saying there is that if you have done all that you were required to do, you're a worthless slave, right? A worthless servant. The reality of it is that and that's the problem with many Christians. We don't realize it's not enough to basically say, okay, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus. That's not enough. What has to be done is the individual has to basically go above and beyond. I hear a pastor said one time that you can't make it into heaven unless you're extraordinarily holy. And so what we see going around today is nothing but Christians, baby Christians walking around talking a bunch of nonsense. But God says that if a Christian really and truly is a part of me and I a part of him, he's going to do the same works.
So Sal, just so that I understand you, are you saying that if someone does really good works, that they're not a slave anymore to Christ?
No, you listen, we all are going to continue to be slaves to Christ until basically Christ returns. Right?
So I don't understand your argument here.
My argument is this. You can. It's true that God condones slavery. He told them it's not His will that people will be slaves, but God
That
told
means
them.
owning a slave is not a sin, and you called it evil earlier.
No. Well, listen. The truth of the matter is that if you look at number one, let me say this: God told them how it should be done, because if he left it open ended, then maybe they might have basically took it to a real terrible extreme. So He basically told them, "Hey, this is what you have."
Why do you think that? Why do you
No,
think that?
I know it because that's how. If you notice, these guys at one point, the people of God were actually sacrificing their children to these different gods. So we know that
Well,
ultimately these
wait.
people.
Sorry. Here's Sal. Here's why I'm saying I don't know how you know that. Did the Babylonians have God's law?
No.
Did the Sumerians?
No.
Did the Hittites?
No.
Did the
No, the Hittites.
Assyrians?
I'm not sure.
That they didn't.
Okay.
Did the Assyrians?
I'm not sure.
They didn't. I mean, according to your lights, I would think you probably would say that they didn't. All of them had laws about slavery that are very similar to the ones that you see in the Hebrew Bible. And they predate the Hebrew Bible, all of them.
I understand what you're saying. Let me say this to you. What I was saying to you earlier is that God told him, listen, this is what I want you to do. This is how if you're going to do this, this is what you have to do. There was actually 7 years you were, depending on certain situations, there was 7 years you were supposed to set the slave free. But this is what I was trying to say.
Sal, before you keep going, sorry to interrupt for a second, but the audience is pretty upset. They say it sounds like you're eating the flesh of Christ right now. So if you could stop eating while you're talking, that would be great. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I requested up before I got my meal, and then I got my meal. I'm sorry. I really shouldn't. Oh, I got you. Well,
I apologize.
Well, maybe not chew and talk at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm not good.
Sal, it may have just been in passing. Why did you mention the 7 years part?
Oh, the 7 years. The 7 years. There was the year of Jubilee. You had to set slaves free. But here's the thing. I can't talk about that too much because I don't totally understand that part of it and how it applies.
I can explain it if you want, because I'm not sure why you brought it up. So that there are two laws about like the Jubilee is something that actually shows up in Leviticus 25. It's not something that's in Exodus 21 or Deuteronomy 15. In both of those earlier passages, Exodus and Deuteronomy, the law about slavery is that you're allowed to keep an Israelite debt slave for 6 years, and he has to be released in the 7th year. In Leviticus 25, you have what's the Jubilee law that is that's set up, and basically what that means is every 50th year, all debts are to be released, right, including slaves and any loans, everything, fields, anything that's been purchased. That's part of their inheritance is all supposed to go back. But I don't understand why did you bring it up though? Was it to say, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Was it to say that like, look, the law is merciful and that slaves can only be kept for up to 6 years and then they have to be released? Is that why you brought it up? Or
No, I just brought it up in passing, but that wasn't even really my point. In fact,
okay,
I just brought it up in passing. But the reality of it is that, I mean, technically speaking, we don't even need that to show that God is merciful, because, like I said,
well, how would that show that he's merciful though?
no. Well, listen, what I'm trying to say is that's not my point. I just said that in passing. What
Right.
I'm saying
Oh,
is we
well,
don't need
maybe
that.
we're
Sorry.
confused then. Do you think owning somebody as property is evil?
Huh?
Do you think owning someone as property is evil?
I think I think that it's evil. I think at the time it was allowed. I think it's evil.
So it was evil, but God allowed it.
He allowed it, yes.
So
I
God
mean,
allowed evil.
well, listen, let me ask you a question. I mean, why would that be so surprising that God allowed evil? I mean, the reality of
Well,
it is
I'm
that,
not surprised that he allowed evil. I'm surprised that you're blaspheming right now by calling it evil, because God says all his laws are perfect and just and doing good and right in his sight.
yes, it is perfect. But what you don't understand is that
Perfect evil?
no, what you don't understand is that um God God is perfect, right? And see, you have to if you look at just a small picture, then you'll have some of these arguments. If you look at the larger picture, then you'll understand what's going on. And the larger picture says to us that God is trying to um he's trying to basically take away the corruption of mankind. He's trying to basically remove the
Yeah, he
sin.
said he gave them laws to do that, right? He
Yeah,
said,
let
if
me
you keep
finish.
all these laws, you will live perfect in the land I've gave you forever, you and your children after you, for all the days you occupy this earth, right?
Yeah, so he's basically trying to get rid of sin and corruption, right? And in actuality, he's trying to
He
get
didn't.
men.
You're saying he allowed sin in his law. You're going against God's word right now.
No. It's the fact that God allows sin is the reality of it
No,
is
in
that
his law, he allowed evil in his law, but God says his law is entirely good and perfect and right, and do it
it
forever.
it is you stated it right. He the law is perfect, converting the soul.
But
Now
it's
the thing
evil,
about
in your opinion, though, right?
no, listen, the thing no, God's law isn't evil. God's law is to address evil. Right? And what you're failing to understand, is that if you God is trying to get people from back then all the way till today to basically get evil and wickedness and hate and sin out of their lives, right? And so
Sal,
But according to you, he allowed sin.
Sal,
wait,
let
wait,
me
wait,
try
wait,
to.
let me just address that question.
Okay,
Can I just address that question? He allowed sin,
sorry, but we've gone back and forth on this like 6 times. Let me try to steel man what
but
you're
but
saying.
but wait,
Is
can I just address his question? He said God allows
Okay,
sin.
real quick. Then Josh is going to ask you the same thing.
So okay, yeah. So this is it. You said that God allows sin. God he couldn't stop sin because we
He
are.
Oh,
sanctioned it. He sanctioned it.
No,
That's
no,
what
no,
I'm
no, no,
trying to
no, no.
say.
He
I
didn't
didn't mean to
sanction it.
say sin. I
Sal,
meant to say evil there.
Yeah,
Sal,
yeah,
Sal, Sal, just
he
stop.
didn't
Just stop.
sanction
Just
sin.
stop. Just stop. Do it because we're going in circles. Listen, what Ape is trying to say is that in the law, he said, thou mayest do this atrocious thing.
Okay.
That's
What I'm
this isn't a question about like, is God not stopping sin from happening because of free will? He's saying that the law, God's law, is you may do this atrocious thing.
Forever.
so here's the thing. Like I say, God's law is perfect, and what He's trying to do is He's trying to basically you said He allowed sin. It was He
I
didn't
misspoke with sin. I meant to say evil. I was trying to use your words.
evil. Okay, so there was evil in heaven before there was evil here on earth. God He could not stop evil. If He could have stopped
Okay,
evil,
this is why this is why I stopped you, Sal. Was there a law in heaven that said you may rebel against me?
no, there was no law.
Okay, so like that's it's not like what we're saying is that the law said don't steal, but God allowed people to steal anyway, right? Like He allowed sin to go on for His own purposes. That's not what we're don't steal, but God allowed people to steal anyway, right? Like He allowed sin to go on for His own purposes. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that the law said you may own slaves.
You know, that's what's interesting about what you just said is that you've actually just proven my point. Because
I hope so.
he did make a provision that if you steal, that you had to restore it fourfold. So
That's right.
So the point is this: God doesn't want you to steal, but He makes a provision that if you do it, this is what you have to do.
Right. Are you
So it's
allowed
not
to
necessary.
hey, Sal, are you allowed to steal?
You are not allowed to steal.
No, you're not allowed to steal. Are you
Exactly.
allowed to
allowed?
steal with
Hey,
consequences.
Are you allowed to own people's property?
No, you're not allowed to own people's property.
So when it says in
Oh,
Leviticus
shit.
25, as for your male and female slaves whom you may have, you may purchase them from the nations around you. From them you may buy slaves. You may also buy some of the temporary residents that are living in the land with you, and from their children that have been born in your land, and they will become your property. You may pass them on as inheritance to your children after you and make them serve as slaves for life. You're not allowed to own people as property.
That you just read? That you just read. What verse of the Bible were they coming from?
Leviticus 25, 44 to 46.
All right. Well, I can't look it up now, but the point
That's
I
right.
was trying to make, right, is that you're not allowed to steal, right?
That's right.
And the thing about it is, right, is that if you look at your argument, you'll see that by the time Christ arrives, you'll recognize that those practices are no longer
Really?
really.
So slavery was condemned in the New Testament?
Listen, it wasn't necessarily that it was condemned, but if you recognize,
was
like
it?
for instance, if you recognize, let's look at
Well, hold on. Well, Sal, just 1 second. Don't you realize what you're saying here? You're
What's
saying
that?
stealing is wrong. God didn't allow it. Slavery is wrong. God blank. Fill in the blank there.
So, like I said,
Can you fill in the blank for me?
God
Stealing is
allowed.
wrong. God didn't allow it. Slavery is wrong. God blank. Fill in the rest.
Listen,
Can you fill in the rest for me?
we just established, yes, God allowed it. Yes, God allowed it. So, but you see, you have to look at why He allowed it, though, and this is a point I'm trying to establish.
He allowed it because he thought it was okay. He said, keeping these laws is what's doing good and right in my sight forever. God thought it was okay. That's why He let them do it.
Sal, why do you think He allowed it?
Why do I think He allowed it? I was trying to tell you guys from earlier. He allowed it because basically, it's an evil practice. Mankind is going to practice evil. Mankind is going to do wrong. And as you stated before, all these people that basically you stated, right? The point of God's laws was to establish the people of God as a beacon, as basically a nation that, was far and beyond all the other nations. And now, you said that they had the other nations had slaves, and so the other nation had kings. God didn't want him to have a king either, but he allowed them to have a king. And so what happened is that God is basically trying to establish these people as his people. And so he gave them laws and statutes and judgments that would help to establish them as this great people. And he knew the practice of the time, of course, was people having slaves and servants and things of that nature. So he gave, and by the way, if you notice, whenever the people of God were practicing unrighteousness and rebellion, he allowed them to go into slavery, right? So
Uh-huh.
so it's not that God is against slavery, of course, but the thing about it is that God is going to is trying to help us to get rid of sin, get rid of evil, and to love him. And the thing
Why
about
would
it
he
is,
get rid of evil by allowing it?
Sal, these are all just that you're just making claims, right? And that's
well, just
fine.
we all are. This is what we're not using the
No, no,
Bible.
no,
We just
no,
use
no,
it. We're
no,
just having a
no,
conversation.
no. If I make a claim, right, like I did a couple minutes ago, that the Hebrew Bible, the laws in the Hebrew Bible, said that it was okay to own slaves, and you said no, it doesn't. Those are both claims. I'm claiming that it does. You're claiming that it doesn't. Then I took you to Leviticus 25 and read it to you. That was me supporting my claim. So, like, I can help you do that with your position, right?
Well,
But like, one of the ways that you might try to do that is going to something like Matthew 19, where Jesus is saying, the law of Moses said that you could divorce for any reason, but that's because Moses gave that to you because of the hardness of your hearts. But I say from the beginning it wasn't that way, right? So you could then say, you could try to say, well, that's like a principle that we can abstract, and we can say that there are things in the Mosaic law that God like tolerated, even though they were wrong. He tolerated it because of the hardness of man's heart.
yes.
You could go that direction.
Well,
Is
to be
that the
honest,
direction you're trying to go?
that is the direction. But to be honest with you, what is understood doesn't need to be explained. I know that you guys know enough about the Bible to know what I was talking about. In fact, before I was cut off, I was actually going to bring up that point. But here's another point. If you recognize the purpose of the law, right? Because there were certain parts of the law, when God gave it to them, he also said, thus shall ye put away sin, right? So the purpose of the law is to put sin away.
Well,
No.
the
The Bible said,
Hold on,
God,
Sal.
yeah,
Don't make it. So the parts that you're referencing that show up in Leviticus like that, right? Those are very specific laws. I don't know that you could then say that the entirety of the law was to put away sin. I don't know that. I mean, I guess it depends on how you're using that phrase, but like those, you need to unalive this person for doing X, thus you shall purge the sin from your midst, right?
yeah.
But I don't know that you could apply that to the entirety of the law or every law.
Well, listen, the reality of it is that that's what the law is for. The law is for purging sin. That's what it's for.
Sal, you made the claim, and I said, here's where, but I don't know how you'd substantiate that, and then you just came back with, yeah, but it is.
No, listen, you just proved the point.
No, I absolutely didn't.
We're trying to get you to understand that you're talking ridiculous, though. You're saying that God allowed evil in the law, even though God said the law is perfect. Do you realize how ridiculous that statement is now?
Listen, you see what? Okay, so what you guys
Do you
don't-
realize that statement's ridiculous?
The statement is not ridiculous. The
It's
statement-
ridiculous. God doesn't allow evil in the law according to God. So you're either wrong or you're calling God a punk. One of the two.
Okay, Sal, would you say that Jesus in Matthew 19 would have said, I agree that the Mosaic law was perfect, if he then followed it up with, but this part was like an allowance because of the hardness of your hearts?
Okay. So,
Because I
I'm
think
sorry.
that's the
I had a little
disconnect.
distraction there.
No, you're good. You're good.
It's God's
What?
calling you. He's like, dude, you're doing bad.
Yeah. No. What I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that God allowed them. Okay. Do you know why God allowed them for this writ of divorce? You know why God allowed that? Because God allowed that because what was happening is that these guys were basically unaliving their spouses, and so to basically make it so that this doesn't have to happen, he gave them a writ of divorce.
Why would you say that? What
Huh?
is your evidence to support that claim?
There's historical evidence that that's what
Yes,
was going on.
saying that there's historical evidence,
Mhm.
right? Like that's not supporting a claim.
Okay, so let's say this. Let's say I retract that statement, right?
Okay.
This is the point now. If he allowed them to do it, right?
Mhm.
If he allowed them to do it, but it's not his part of his perfect will, right? Because we see in the New Testament, we see that if a man is going to be a bishop or have certain positions inside the church, he has to be the husband of one wife, right? God is trying to reestablish, right? Reestablish righteousness and what is right versus what is wrong. He's trying to make a difference. So here again, there is things that God has to be. His hands are tied. He cannot.
Okay.
He cannot do
So Sal,
necessarily.
I'm trying to like focus us here. So let me see if I can. It sounds like what you're saying is that the law as it was given under Moses was perfect in the sense that it was perfect for that group at that time to accomplish his goal, which was to get them set apart and move them forward morally until the time of Christ, when Christ could say, okay, look, I know that that's what the law said and it was right for you guys back then, but now I'm changing some stuff because now, to use Christian speak, you were on milk back then, but now you're able to take meat. Is that kind of what you're saying?
It's kind of what I am saying. Yes.
Okay. The problem that I think you face with that is that in the Hebrew Bible, Yahweh doesn't in any way seem to intimate that the law is temporary, right? He says repeatedly that the law is perfect. It's going to last through all your generations forever. Like the law, that law is, it's like, it's what is good, it's what is right, it's what is just, and they need to follow it in perpetuity throughout their generations.
Okay, I see. If you read the Bible from a specific point of view, you would have to come up with that conclusion. If you consider the fact that the issue is that when you and most Christians look at the law of God, you guys think about the 613 laws, right? The point of where I'm at, and the point of where God, I think, wants us all to be is that not that we look at 613 laws, but we look at 10 commandments.
Why do you think that, though?
Why do I think that? Because it's clear in the New Testament and even in the Old Testament that God had always intended that his commandments would be kept.
All of them?
Huh?
All of them or just 10?
Just 10. Just 10.
See, that's where I disagree with you, right?
Yeah,
Because
that's where you're calling God a liar.
Yeah, like throughout Leviticus, particularly in chapter 27, you see that all these laws, statutes, judgments, these are all part of this whole that they are to follow everything.
And I say that if you, like I say, if you look at the Bible, if you read the Bible specifically, if there's certain things that a lot of Christians today don't understand about the Bible, because what happens is we tend to look at the Bible from a point of view. We tend to look at it as snippets. We look at it like we're looking through. Uh, uh, I don't want to use that. We just look at it as snippets, right? We don't never look at the panoramic view of what the Bible is actually trying to teach and what the Bible is trying to say. And if you look at it from a panoramic view, from the beginning to the end, what you see is you see that God instituted something at that time. Not and the thing about it is that the law of God, the Ten Commandments of God, existed prior to His actual giving the commandments to Moses. It existed before that. In fact, when you see God giving the Ten Commandments, He Himself speaks the Ten Commandments audibly, and the people hear the Ten Commandments. And then Moses basically writes the others in a book, and he reads it to the people. But God spoke His Ten Commandments specifically in the hearing of people, and then He wrote them with His fingers in stone. So therefore, it tells us that there is a difference between the 613 laws and the 10 commandments.
Okay, here's why that's a problem. I'm going to read to you from Leviticus 19. Okay. And I want you to tell me which ones you should follow based on that 10 commandments thing, and which ones are like ones that you shouldn't. Okay. Do not steal.
That's the 10 commandments. You
Do not lie.
10 commandments.
Do not deceive one another.
10 commandments.
Do not swear falsely by my name and so profane the name of our God. I am the Lord.
Yeah, that's the 10 commandments.
Do not defraud or rob. I tell you what, so you don't have to keep doing this. I'll keep reading.
Yeah, go ahead.
And you tell me when. Sorry, and you weren't doing anything wrong there. I'm just saying, so you don't have to keep saying that.
Yeah, that's
you
fine.
tell me when to stop and say, all right, no, that's when it switches away from the 10 commandments. Okay. Do not defraud or rob your neighbor. Do not hold back the wages of a hired worker overnight. Do not cause the deaf, curse the deaf, or put a stumbling block in front of the blind, but fear your God. I am the Lord. Do not pervert justice. Do not show partiality to the poor or favoritism to the great, but judge your neighbor fairly. Do not go about spreading slander among your people. Do not do anything that endangers your neighbor's life. I am the Lord. We still good on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I explain why? So the reality of it is, right, is that the reality of it is that all of you have just stated falls under the 10 commandments. And if you love your neighbor as you love yourself, you won't do those things.
Right.
What I'm trying to say.
Well, here. Well, let me. Sorry. Let me get through a little bit more here.
All right.
Do not hate a fellow Israelite in your heart. Rebuke your neighbor frankly, so you will not share in their guilt. Do not seek revenge or bear a grudge against anyone among your people, but love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord.
Amen.
Okay. Keep my decrees. Do not mate different kinds of animals. Do not plant your field with two kinds of seed. Do not wear clothing woven of two kinds of material. If a man sleeps...
So
did you finally get past 10, Sal?
Well, what happened is that you see now you got into the realm where
where you don't like it anymore.
No, it's not. I don't like it anymore.
Okay, well, hold on. All right, so you think we've left the 10. All right, so that was, I read you 11 to 18, and then when I started to read 19, you said it kind of jumped. So we've got not mixing or not crossbreeding animals, sowing two types of seed, wearing two different. Verses 20 to 22 is about what happens if a man sleeps with a betrothed, but a betrothed slave. And then 23, 24 is about when you eat fruit from trees. 26, don't eat meat with blood still in it. Don't practice divination or seek omens. Don't cut the hair on the sides of your head, verse 27, or your beard. Don't cut your bodies for the dead or put a tattoo on yourself, verse 28. Verse 29, do not degrade your daughter by making her a prostitute. A land will turn to prostitution, be filled with wickedness. All right, so then 30. You ready?
Yeah.
Observe my Sabbaths and have reverence for my sanctuary. I am the Lord.
Uh-huh.
Do not turn to mediums or seek out spiritists, for you will be defiled by them. I am the Lord. Stand up in the presence of the aged, show respect for the elderly, and revere your God. I am the Lord. When a foreigner resides among you in your land, do not mistreat them. The foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as yourself, for you are foreigners in Egypt. I am the Lord your God.
Uh-huh.
So, did we switch back to the Ten Commandments?
No, so let me say this. The the thing that I think that a lot of people misunderstand about the 603 laws that basically we see that were given, written in a book, placed in the side of the ark, right? In addition to the 10 commandments, those 603 laws, they basically are supporting the 10 commandments. They're telling that if you look at what you just read, these are instructions on how people are to conduct themselves. And the reality of it is that almost everything that you've read there, 100% I agree with. 100% we still have to keep it. There's just some.
So you wear mixed fabrics?
Huh?
Do you wear mixed fabrics?
I do. I'm pretty sure I do.
Well, you're breaking the law of God.
Well, I know that's not breaking the law.
Do you not care?
I know that that's not breaking the law of God.
He just read you those laws that you said you keep, and then the first one I ask you, you say you don't keep.
But the point I'm trying to say is that those laws that you just read there are just supporting the 10 commandments. If a person basically is keeping God's commandments, they're going to keep those laws that you read there.
Those aren't the 10 commandments, though.
No, I know, I understand, but what they're doing is
love your neighbor as yourself isn't in the 10 commandments.
Actually, he read it. He actually just read that.
That's actually, not in the 10 commandments. That's Leviticus chapter 19.
Yes, I agree that it's not in the 10 commandments. It's not stated. It's actually stated in the last.
So do you have to keep just the 10, or do you have to keep them all? Which one is it?
If you keep that 10, right, then you are keeping them all. Here's the thing: there's a ceremonial portion of God's law that basically there's a ceremonial and a civic portion of God's law.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that?
Because it's true.
No,
it's not true. It doesn't make sense. It's incoherent.
Sal, that was funny. Come on, man.
Listen, so how are you going to set up? Okay, listen. Remember now, the government of God at the time that God sets up his kingdom, sets up these people, right? They did not have a king. He was supposed to be their king. Now, you cannot have a kingdom, you cannot have a government without laws that pertain specifically to that government. You understand what I'm saying? So God gave them laws that pertain specifically to their government. Now, when that government was disbanded, you see, God continued to allow them to go into slavery. They themselves could not even. They themselves, as they were rebellious, they could not exercise God's commandments as is written, because they either were, one, in rebellion, and two, as a result of the rebellion, God basically allowed them to go into slavery. So even in the time of when Jesus was here, they could not exercise the laws of God the way it was written. Now, the point of me saying that is this: you have to have laws in place for a civil power, and that's what they did. So there were some civil laws that basically conducted how the government should run itself. Once the government no longer exists, those laws no longer exist.
Okay.
Right? And then there's ceremonial laws that conducted how the sanctuary was supposed to be dealt with, how people were to.
We get it. We're talking about you.
Right. No, so my question is, why do you, those are categories that you're applying to the text.
No, the Bible actually applies them. But that's what
No,
I'm
it
saying. If
absolutely doesn't. And
it
if you would
does,
like
it
to,
does.
okay, then show me.
You think I could show you in this small space of time? The only thing that we could do
Yes,
at this point
yes.
is
Well, then don't make the claim, Sal. You've done that like 5 times now.
my
This is
brother.
why Christian apologists frustrate me so much. Because you
So,
guys make these claims and then I say no and you say yes and I say, show me, well, I can't do that right now. Well, then, like, fucking stop making the claim.
so listen, you are making claims. I am making claims.
I'm showing you evidence for the claims that I make.
Okay, so you want me to give you an evidence? Let me give you some
Yes,
evidence. Let me
go
give you
ahead.
some evidence. You remember that God was about to kill Moses. You know why?
Are you talking about with Zipporah?
No, God was about to kill Moses because his children were not circumcised.
Yes, right. That's what I said.
Okay, so in the Bible, right? God was about to kill Moses. In the New Testament, we see Paul basically telling Christians that they don't need to be circumcised. So
I'm
my
just waiting for you to show me in the law. These are civic, these are ceremonial, right? These are moral. That's what I'm waiting for you to show me.
I just explained that to you.
So you, by telling me about
You
a
think
story
you
about,
explained that by saying God was going to kill Moses because they didn't chop skin off their sons' dicks?
No.
That was really your explanation.
No. I explained that by pointing out that if you're going to set up a government, you have to basically you have to have rules and regulation. You have to have law in order to set up a
okay,
government.
Sal, look, let me tell you what I'm not saying.
If you don't
Sal,
have
let me,
ridiculous, man.
Sal, let me tell you what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that there weren't laws that would fall into that category as we would see them, right? What I'm saying is that there's not that, so that would be an etic category, one that we're bringing to the text. And that's fine from like the standpoint of trying to understand and categorize, that's okay. What I'm saying is from an emic standpoint, like there is no emic category of civil law. In other words, you can't go and they said, okay, this one here, this is a civic law. And this one over here, this is a ceremonial law. They didn't think like that. They didn't demarcate them this way. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Oh, okay.
As far as that goes.
So here's why this is why this is important. Because I think you would say, if I'm going to read these 3 verses to you from Leviticus 20, and you tell me which one of those you would categorize these as. I mean, from Leviticus 19.
Wait. Before you do that,
okay.
I pointed out the situation with Moses and Paul, and you guys haven't addressed it. The fact that
that's because it was an asinine, hilarious statement. There's nothing to address. It was so idiotic. Everybody listening is just dumber for having heard it. It deserves no response at all.
So you're saying that when the circumcision that God commanded in the Old Testament, now it doesn't exist, and you don't ask yourself why?
Because a guy named Paul 600 years later said God was lying? I don't know. What do you want to hear?
In fact, Paul wasn't even the one who established the point of not circumcision. That was established in Acts 15, and it was the brethren in Jerusalem.
Who do you think Acts was getting his information from?
Like I said, it wasn't Paul who established.
Was it from Paul? Did he learn that from Paul?
It was not Paul that established that you don't need to be circumcised.
Did Jesus or Paul say circumcision goes away?
Listen, it wasn't Paul that.
Yeah, you're essentially saying a guy named Paul came along, I don't know, whenever, and said God was lying. So now we're going to listen to this guy named Paul and not God.
Paul did not establish the fact that you do not need to be circumcised.
I still don't understand how this creates a tripartite system that they understood.
Wait, repeat that question.
The thing that you were supposed to be showing me seems like you disagree with now. You were supposed to be showing me that in the Mosaic law, that they thought these are the civic laws, these are the ceremonial laws. these are the moral laws. But it doesn't sound like you think that.
No. I know that. I don't think it. I know it.
That you think that they thought this
Not
one
they.
is a moral law.
No. They weren't supposed to think that. I am. We are.
Oh,
We are
okay.
supposed to see that.
Fine.
Oh,
Look,
so earlier you didn't agree with Dr. Josh when you said I agree with you.
Who's Dr. Josh? Oh, Joshua B.
The
Okay.
person you're talking to, yeah.
I didn't realize
doctor,
that.
PhD.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't realize as I was speaking to the esteemed Dr. Joshua.
it's esteemed. It's absolutely
We
fine.
are.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to be
That's-
speaking today to the
that's
esteemed
very
Dr.
kind.
Joshua.
That's very kind. But okay, so that's fine. If what you're saying is that from like a Pauline perspective, that there are certain laws that are maintained and others that are done away with, fine. Like that's okay. I'm fine with that. What I'm saying is that when Christian apologists often come to the Mosaic Law, they take this modern understanding of civil, ceremonial, and moral laws, and they apply that to the laws in the Hebrew Bible. And that's what makes them say, oh, well, that's something we don't have to do.
Uh-huh.
But this is one that we do have to do. And I'm saying that's where it's problematic.
And I would answer that by saying this. Once again, if you look at the Bible from a panoramic view, you'll be able to see quite clearly that what God intended to do. Because the reality of it is that we see Abraham have, the Bible says in Genesis 18 that Abraham had laws and statutes and judgments and he would follow them. But we don't see where Abraham was given the 10 Commandments or any other laws. But it says that he had them and he would follow them. We
Okay.
don't see throughout we don't see until Exodus where God basically codifies the commandments and he adds this other stuff. In fact, the Bible tells us if what Abraham understood as the law is different from what Moses basically spake and
Okay,
established.
so let me pause you, because if it is the case, it sounded like what you said is it is quite clear which parts of the Hebrew Bible, the laws in the Hebrew Bible, we're supposed to keep and which parts we're not. Did I hear you right?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's clear if you look at it, if you
okay,
get a full view of the Bible and what
that's
God
fine.
was trying to
That's
say.
fine. And you have that full view, right?
By God's grace, yes.
Okay, perfect. Tell me, like, show me why the Southern slave owners were wrong, and that slavery was something they were not supposed to be allowed to do in the antebellum South.
Tell you why it was wrong.
hmm
Number one, these individuals were stolen from.
No,
They were purchased.
they were purchased.
No. They were stolen. I mean, the
They were
concept or idea.
purchased.
No. The concept or
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
So wait,
They were
so wait,
purchased. They were
wait.
trading for them.
Let's establish something. Let's establish
What's true. They were purchased.
No, so let's establish something. So, the Europeans came over from Europe and came over here to America. Did they purchase land when they came over here?
Yeah,
Who did they purchase the land from?
it depends.
Okay, Sal.
No, let's.
So-
Yes, I'm trying to get to a point.
No,
If you
no,
guys
no,
give
no,
me a
no,
chance.
no, 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 no.
You're trying
Look,
to get away from the point. It sounds like.
okay, Sal.
Yeah.
If someone were purchased from the surrounding nations, was that in keeping with the law in the Hebrew Bible?
If someone was purchased from the surrounding neighbors, I guess you could say yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but you see, the thing about it is this: the difference that I'm trying to say is that you could, if I, okay, let me establish it like this. I bought years ago. A guy brought a bike. The guy said, "Man, I want $25 for that bike,"
Mhm.
and I was like, "Man, I need a bike," and all he wants is $25. So I gave him the $25. I asked him before I gave it to him. I said, "Is this bike stolen?" He said, "Nah." I gave him the $25. So a little bit later in the day, I showed my coworker, "Hey, man, I just bought this bike." My coworker turns to me and says, "Hey, man, that's a stolen bike."
Mhm.
Now, let me ask you guys a question. Had I been caught in possession of that bike, um, what would would the law allow me to keep the bike since I purchased it?
No.
You got a receipt?
Well,
Huh?
yeah. So I don't know the law. I
If
suspect
I
not.
if I
But
if I had a receipt that the guy who stole it gave it to me, would they allow me to keep it?
I mean,
No,
I doubt
because
it. But
Probably not.
it's
yeah.
stolen property. So
Right.
basically,
So okay.
the
So
point I'm trying to
hold on,
establish is
Sal. So if look, this is where I don't want you to split hairs because it's going to make you look really, really bad. Okay.
I don't have a
But
problem looking
let's
bad, man. Go ahead.
no. So if on the continent of Africa, let's say you had the government set up laws that were terribly inhumane and unfair and unjust, where if somebody did the smallest infraction, the penalty was to enslave them. By their lights, legally, it would have been legal enslavement, right? Let's say that individual, or it's in warfare, right? Let's say they're in warfare and they capture people, right? Whatever it is, the people that are purchasing those slaves, certainly you're not saying that as long as slavery is, as long as you're not acquiring slaves through kidnapping, that slavery is okay. Certainly that's not what you're saying.
Could you repeat that question again?
Sorry. You're not saying that slavery would be okay as long as you didn't kidnap the slaves to begin with, right?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay. So let's say this. By the time like in 1807, that sort of kidnapping. I mean, kidnapping is always illegal, right? But in 1807, the transatlantic slave trade is shut down. There's like a momentary blip for a year, but by that point, most of the people that were slaves, and this is not my area of specialization, so forgive me, anybody that's listening, some of the details that I don't know, but by this point, these are like fourth, fifth generation slaves, right? These are people that have been born into slavery that have don't even have ancestors. I mean, don't even have living relatives that were not born slaves, right?
You're talking about on this continent or the continent?
Sorry, this continent, the United States, in like the antebellum South.
Okay.
So at that point, if the laws in the Hebrew Bible say you can purchase slaves from the surrounding nations, right? Ostensibly, the surrounding nations, most apologists would say the surrounding nations were doing bad things, right? So, I think you'd have a very difficult time saying there were checks and balances in place in Leviticus 25 to make sure that the slave wasn't stolen, assumed into that text.
Okay. So can I say a few things?
Number one, please.
We need to recognize that one of the things that we see in the Bible is that God was using slavery to punish people, punish sin and evil, unrighteousness. In many cases, He told them, He said, "Listen, if you do this, this is what I'm going to do."
How was He punishing sin to say you can take women and children as captives in war?
No, listen, those.
You're just saying in many instances, not
many
all.
Instances, yes, many instances, right? Okay. Now, you brought up a point there, Dr. Joshua. That I really I was glad that you brought it up, because one of the things that I think God is trying to show us, right, is that we all can agree that America is a great country, right? We all can agree that America, possibly the greatest country the world has ever seen. But would you not agree that if
We don't agree with that, but whatever.
Wait, say again. I didn't hear you, bro.
Yeah,
So we
I'm not
don't
a
agree with
huge.
that, but whatever.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm not.
so okay, yeah. So listen, I mean, there's some
It's
things that could
okay.
be argued about that, but let's say for
It's okay.
pushing
Go.
the argument forward, we're just saying that yeah,
Sure.
it's a great country. Wouldn't you agree that had America not gotten involved in slavery, that America would be basically light years ahead of everyone else, and basically would have been much, much better. It would have been to a situation where you could agree with what you're saying. Because what's happening here in America is that a lot of the downfall that we see taking place in America is because of slavery. It's because of what slavery what slavery stood for and what basically was established back then. And so if it just proves God's point that this is not the right way for us to live our lives. This is not the right way to live and to exist. Slavery
Then why did
actually
he tell the
shows us,
Israelites to keep slaves forever?
huh?
Then why did he tell them to keep slaves forever?
Like I said, mankind is going
Do
to
you,
keep
do you know
slaves.
what
And
forever
we know
means?
that there's slaves.
Do you know what forever means?
Listen, I'm just saying to you, bro, mankind is going to keep slaves, and God was trying to regulate an evil practice
Oh,
that
well,
he knew
mankind's
that
going to
he was
murder
doing.
and rape too. Why didn't God regulate that?
He did regulate it. He did regulate
He
it.
said, no, he didn't. He said, don't do it or you will get killed for it.
Yeah, and you don't see anyone who believes in the Bible, who believes in the whole Bible, who believes in keeping the commandments of God, killing anyone for killing someone else, except for maybe the government. I don't know. But the point I'm trying to say is this: if you look at the fruit of slavery, America shows us what the fruit of slavery is, and it's not good. It's not
Yeah.
good. So
So
what I'm
God
trying to
wasn't
say,
good when he allowed slavery, was he?
God was perfect, because you know what happened?
He was not perfect if he allowed something that was evil to
He was,
persist, Sal. That's impossible.
but I'm telling you, it's not. And if you
He
look at,
told
if you look,
them it was good and to do it forever. So are you now calling God a liar?
no, what I'm trying to say is that if you listen, you remember
God
Satan.
said these are good. Do them forever. Was God wrong?
My brother, I'm just trying to establish something.
Can you just answer my question? Was God wrong?
He wasn't wrong. I think our understanding
Okay,
of what,
so when he said these laws are good and to do them forever, that's exactly what he meant, wasn't it?
yeah, he wasn't
Okay,
wrong.
so how is it possible that God calls his laws good, but slavery wasn't good when it was permitted in law?
You see, you heard the word you just used, permitted. He didn't establish slavery. He permitted it.
He said, my law is perfect. It is
It
good.
is.
It is just and it is right. Do it forever. And this is what will allow you to be happy in the land forever. Ain't that what God said?
Yeah, and so are they
Okay,
happy in
so how is
they,
it possible that God thought slavery was bad when he said it was good?
God did not think that slavery was bad. I mean, it was good.
I know
Excuse me.
that. He thinks it was good.
No, he didn't think he didn't think it was good. He
He
allowed it.
says the law is good, right?
Let me ask you a question. If
He
you're gonna
says the
take
law is good, right?
yes.
Okay, so if slavery's in the law, it's good, right?
Well, let me ask you this here.
If
Let's
slavery's in the law, it's good, right?
turn the question this way.
If slavery's in the law, it's good, right?
Let's turn the question this way.
If
Let's turn the
slavery's
question.
in the law, it's good, right?
Listen, like I said,
Sal, this is incredibly sad.
America has shown us the fruit of slavery, and America has shown us the fruit of slavery. We don't have
Thanks
a
to
better.
God.
We don't have a better.
Anyway, you're not capable of a coherent thought, Sal. It's become clear at this point. So before I go, let's see if we can clear out there's still a ton of people in the queue here. So let's see if we can maybe get somebody to address the actual point here. It'd be great. Yeah, of course, God said the slavery's good, but he didn't mean it was good.
Yo,
Hey, Kage, you there?
um,
Here,
I left this shit earlier because I didn't even think I was gonna get accepted. But you had quoted something out of the Bible as a verse like you believed it was okay for
Are you a
slaves or
Christian,
something.
Kage?
No, but I believe in
Okay.
Jesus
Well,
Christ.
we're just talking to Christians.
I mean, I'm still a follower of Jesus Christ. It's really the
You're
same.
not a Christian though?
I plan on getting baptized.
You plan on getting baptized and then you'll be a Christian?
Yes.
So you want to be a Christian, you're just not one right now.
I mean, technically, yes, but I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. So it's really not a difference. I mean, we can still have this debate, or we're
Okay,
just
yeah.
simply trying to talk as
Well,
Christian.
if you want to be a Christian, maybe we can talk you out of it before you go do it. So, yeah, go ahead, say whatever you want to say.
Well, I said you had made a statement earlier when I was in the live earlier of why you think the Bible has slaves, and I was just trying to get you to say the verse and what book were you quoting? What verse were you quoting?
Leviticus 25, probably. They take up on purpose. Kage, what are you doing?
I asked what verse that you quoted.
Leviticus chapter 25, verse 44 through 46.
Okay, can you read what it says?
It says, "As for the male and female slaves whom you may have, it is from the nations around you that you may acquire male and female slaves. You may also acquire them from the aliens residing with you, and from their families who are with you, who have been born into your land, and they may be your property. You may keep them as a possession for your children after you, for them to inherit as property. These you may treat as slaves. But as for your fellow Israelites, no one shall rule over the other with harshness."
You said, correct me if I'm wrong, you said that was verse 45?
44 through 46.
That statement that you claimed was completely wrong.
Your teacup, I can't hear you.
I said the statement that you made was completely wrong.
What statement?
What you just read.
What I read was wrong?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us how what I read was wrong.
It's
Your teacup again. It's funny I'm always wrong for reading something. Just read the verse. They're like, no, that's wrong.
I'm reading the verse. I can't have the Bible app open and TikTok at the same time. That's the
Well,
reason
I know,
why.
but what? How are you going to say I'm wrong for reading what I read? I just read it.
Because it's not in the. You're obviously reading not the Bible.
Okay, well,
Which
what's
Bible are
wrong
you
with it?
reading?
I read from the Bible. It was
Which
Leviticus
Bible?
chapter 25, verse 44.
That's what I just told you.
That's the Hebrew.
You're reading the Hebrew.
Yeah, the Tanakh, the actual Hebrew Bible.
Yeah, buddy. I think you might have to get another Bible because
Okay,
that's
well, what Bible
that's
should I be
a.
reading? What Bible should I be reading?
You can get one of the newer ones or the one of the Old Testaments. The newer
Okay,
Old
what's a new
Testament.
one? What's a new Bible I can read that's not wrong when I read Leviticus 25?
I mean, you can look up the Bible app if you have it. You're on a
What's wrong
computer,
with the verse?
obviously.
What did I get wrong when I read that? What's wrong with
That
that translation?
that verse 44 through 46, everything that you said from 44 through 46 is not in the Bible.
Yes, it is. I read it out of the fucking Bible, Kage.
You read it out of
Certainly
the
you're not
Hebrew.
slow as fuck, are you?
You read it out of the Hebrew, brother.
Do you understand what the Bible was written in, Kage?
Yes.
Was it
I
written
think
in
you don't
Hebrew?
understand. I
Was
meit
it
I
written
can
in
tell you're
Hebrew?
an
What
atheist,
was it
bro.
written in Hebrew, Kage?
Bro, the Bible's written in multiple languages by now.
What was the Old Testament written in originally, Kago?
You answer that for me.
You answer. You're the one who knows it all. I got it wrong. You're clearly
I just
the one
told
who
you.
knows what's going
I
on
just told
here.
you. Read a
Okay.
different
So what
Bible.
was the Hebrew Bible originally written in, Kago?
You answer that for me.
Dude, you are one dumb motherfucker, you know?
Right. And you're just on here
Yeah.
for clicks and baits.
Yeah, I got you. Clicks and baits, yeah. Anyway. Boy, they're rough out there. Yeah.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
Hey, what's up, man? Are you a Christian?
Yeah.
Cool. So please, for the love of all things sacred, prove my prompt wrong.
All right, bet. Yo, are you cool if just for the first like 5 minutes I just like build up to it with something else?
No.
No, but that's the point of a debate, like to build up to your main argument.
Just get to the point.
All right. I'm yo. You seem like a chill dude, man. I'm just before you kick me. I just got a question, bro.
Can you just get to the point?
Yeah, I kind of want to switch. Can it be more like a atheist Christian debate, or do you want to just keep it with?
You're talking to an atheist and you're a Christian, so that's what it is already.
All right, let's do it. All right. So you know what metaphysical energy is?
Nope. What does that got to do with slavery?
All right, man. All right, bro. I don't want to talk about slavery. I want to have a debate with you about why Christianity.
Can you read the prompt right here that says
I know.
prove this wrong?
Yeah, I was just coming up to ask if I could switch it up a little bit. You have a good day, bro. You have a good day.
Have a good one. All right. What in the world? When as slow as the last guy. Damn. Hey, Drew, are you there?
Yeah, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Are you a Christian, Drew?
I am.
Cool. So, please prove the prompt wrong.
So to prove your prompt wrong, if God was for slavery, then how come, like, the very second story told in the Bible, he leads the Israelites out of slavery from Egypt? If it glorifies slavery,
It tells you why.
wouldn't it have just have kept them in slavery if he glorifies it?
No. It tells you why he took them out of slavery.
Exactly. So if it's 100% about slavery and glorifies it, then what was the purpose of leading the Israelites out of slavery? There would have been nothing wrong with what
You
Pharaoh
know God answers that in the Old Testament, right?
So what's your answer?
Why do you want my answer? God answers this question himself.
So what is it?
Because they were his slaves and not the Pharaoh's. It says, those are my servants, not the Pharaoh's. They belong to me.
That's exactly our
Man, you got
purpose here.
I can't even hardly understand you, man. You got crazy background noises, all kind of, it sounds like you're building the Trump ballroom right now. Actually, it don't, because that got shut down by court. Anyway, you're gonna have to, you can request back up if you go somewhere quieter, but that ain't gonna work. Alright. Pac-Man's next. Pac-Man, you're not loading in, man. Your signal's really bad or something. Drew, are you there? You go to somewhere quiet?
Can you hear me better?
Not really.
Can you hear me better?
Well, that's a little better.
Okay.
You still got some major
So,
background noise.
let me see if me connecting my AirPod is better. If not, then we can just carry on with our days, brother. Let me connect it real quick. Alrighty, is that any better?
A little bit. We'll try it.
Okay. So, as I was saying, if there was nothing wrong with slavery, then he would have been okay with Pharaoh holding the Israelites as his slaves. And that kind of
No,
debunks
he
your
wouldn't
whole
have. He wanted them to be his slaves, not the Pharaoh's.
And why do you see something
And if
wrong
slavery
with
was wrong, he wouldn't have put them back into slavery 2 more times after that.
that? It was because they had hardened their hearts and turned away from God. And
Yeah, but if he thought slavery was bad, he wouldn't have put them in slavery, though, would he?
as he said, slavery was like a punishment back then.
Oh, okay. Then why did he permit it through law for the Israelites?
Where does it say that?
Leviticus 25, Exodus 21, Deuteronomy 7, Deuteronomy 20, Deuteronomy 21. Bunch of places.
I mean, I could open up my Bible right now, but I mean, it's kind of hard because I'm driving. But I would love to go back and forth with you on the Bible one day when I have the time. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm on pretty much every day, but yeah, come back when you got some more time.
Gotcha.
You're not supposed to be live and driving anyway, but just come back when you got more time and it's quieter and we can actually talk. Let's see. Alright, never mind. I think we're out of guests finally. So I was gonna try to. That's the verse I didn't want to read it. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it would almost be a valid point he was making if God actually thought slavery was bad and that's why he took them out of slavery, but that is sadly not the case, I'm afraid. Anyway, guys, I am going to go ahead and jump off for the day. We got 2 hours in of a really good stream. That first 30 minutes was... Actually, TikTok's fucking weird, man. Like, it did us like that the first 30 minutes. Then it did a reset and everything's back to normal. Like, the algorithm numbers are normal. Like, plenty of people requested up. Like, I guess TikTok's just on some shit some days. But let me get over and see who we can... before we go... Let's see... Yeah, it's Christ before Jesus today, I reckon. CBJ is where we'll head over to. But anyway, fuck MAGA, fuck Trump, and fuck every motherfucker that voted for that motherfucker too. Anyway, fuck Trump, fuck MAGA, fuck Christian nationalists, fuck slavery, and the horse they rode in on. Not really the horse though. We somebody requested that. Oh, never mind. Hold on. I think somebody wants to look it up.
It's
Yeah,
me.
what's up?
Just wanted to let you know and everyone else who's still in here, the law actually does permit you to, buy stolen items, but there's a big elephant-sized but in there. It's only in extreme circumstances, like very extreme circumstances, to the point where I couldn't even tell you what would have to be done. Bean, stop with your pig. Sorry. You would have to essentially steal back your own stuff and then have to buy it back. It's very, very complicated to explain, but it does happen and it is legal in that case. But oftentimes it's very extreme circumstances. That's just for you to have up your sleeve.
Right, yeah. They'll usually still take your property. That probably don't come up much, but they will still take your property. But if you can prove you purchase, somebody else can steal it and you purchase it. If you can show them like a receipt that you actually bought it and didn't steal it yourself, then they won't prosecute you. Like, there's no.
Exactly. And the other thing
all
is,
the time.
the other thing is if you steal your property back, there's nothing that they can do. They'll be like, yeah, well, you shouldn't have stolen it in the first place. But yeah, that's it. I just wanted to let you know that it does happen, but it's in very, very extreme circumstances. So if they want to try that shit, I mean, it's not a good argument, but
Yeah.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you, Jay. Let's see. Who else trying to say something here? Oh, never mind. Yeah, I was about to go anyway, but y'all know, fuck Trump and MAGA and all that shit. Let's go throw CBJ a raid, show our homeboy CBJ some love. Much love to everybody that showed up. Thanks for all the engagement, all the gifts. I appreciate the shit out of it, y'all, and we will keep up the fight tomorrow morning.